Now we begin this Friday evening again with the search operations underway for those still missing in the ferry accident more than 3 weeks ago here in Korea.
Let's go straight to our Kim Ji-yeon, who is following this story closely from the beginning.
Now, Ji-yeon, what we're learning today is again calling into question the government's initial response to this disaster.
That's right. Findings suggest some of the victims tried to escape the sinking ferry right up until the moment it completely went underwater. Rescuers overnight found bodies at one of the cabins located on the 5th floor that was only accessible to the crew members and was initially thought not to be occupied by any passengers. More than 10 bodies were found in the same floor's lobby, presumed to have attempted their escape and find higher locations as the waters filled up the ferry. This is leading to more criticism that if the government's initial response had been quick enough, these victims could have been saved.
And not surprisingly, anger among the victims' families growing by the day, by the hour. Some led a march to the front gates of the presidential office of Cheongwade on Thursday.
That's right, Daniel. The families there want a face-to-face meeting with President Park Geun-hye to discuss their grievances. That request has not been granted, but they are met with the president's office chief of staff.
We want to resolve this by having a conversation. You have no idea how long we've been waiting here.
The request made by the families also has something to do with the remarks made by the news bureau chief at Korean Broadcasting System, or KBS, Kim Ji-yeon, who offered to resign from his post earlier today. Kim is alleged to have made comments that downplay the scale of the Sewol ferry disaster, saying that the number of people killed in the ferry sinking pales in comparison to the number of people who die in traffic accidents every year.
Now, Ji-yeon, let's shift our focus now to the investigations. There is evidence that proves that the de facto owner of the ferry operator was in fact involved in the ferry sinking.
Right. The investigative team says the de facto owner of the ferry operator, Yoo Byung-won, was active in the management of the Cheongjin Marine Company. It found that the ferry operator paid Yoo around $9,800 a month in wages and consultation fees from March 2013 up until February this year. And up until now, Yoo has denied his involvement in the management of operations in the ferry. And to prove that he was liable for the sinking, authorities had to work their way up to uncover evidence that he was actually involved with the company itself. And now that the authorities have obtained evidence that suggests he was, prosecutors are expected to charge him for company mismanagement and upholding safety standards. They plan to summon him for questioning next week. I'll be back with more updates in later newscasts.